do a video now talking more about them, but I want you to see my face. So they said something that they talk about facial features a lot. So they said the tip of my nose isn't longer than the sides, and that means something to them. But what I would like to talk about now is why they talk about facial features. I talked about in a previous video, but I'm going to talk about it more. They just said somebody kept talking about eugenics and that they're obsessed with certain types of people mating with each other. And I just wanted to say that. I also wanted to say they talked about honeypots. So part of why they're obsessed, they didn't want me to touch my face or behave like a normal person, is because they said they used to be very envious of certain people who could just freely touch themselves and be, I guess, normal. I think that's important because it seems like they wanted me to change being like a normal person to being, they said, a weirdo, because they wanted me to look like this at people, and they didn't want me just, you know how normal people, we just kind of touch ourselves, we move ourselves freely without being, they said self-conscious. They wanted me to be self-conscious. And they said years ago, now again, this would have been almost 20 years ago. I had a coworker and I was in a job from 2004 to about 2006. So we're talking about almost 20 years ago or around then. I was talking to one of my friends on the job, and we were talking, and they thought we had an argument, and that one of my co-workers, she worked for a particular designer. So she didn't really work for the store, but she worked in the store for the designer. Thought we had an argument, but we didn't. We were having fun and arguing, not arguing, but we were having fun discussing something. And then they said she also said that my friend and I were misquoting a song by James Blunt that says, you're beautiful. And then we were saying I'm beautiful, meaning that we ourselves were beautiful. And they said that that was important because I was supposed to be argumentative. And that's part of what I'm saying. It goes back to their belief. And I think it does tie into the whole eugenics and honeypot, that they probably wanted to make me some sort of a woman who would never be argumentative. I wouldn't feel confident. I was going to be some little, little docile woman, and that those are the women they prefer. And they thought they could make me into that type of woman. Now, why that's relevant to human trafficking is I do believe that that's a certain type of characteristic that this group wants. They look for people who are docile and people who won't argue back. They just said submissive. And this is my issue. If they have to include themselves in everything I do, then I'm not a docile, submissive person, am I? Because I'm the one doing. I would be more like them, the type of people to latch on to someone doing something. So we would never get anything accomplished if I had been like them, because we would just all just stare around looking at each other. So clearly I was always someone, they just said a natural leader. Yes. And they said they thought I wasn't a natural leader, but that's part of this whole situation. The idea that they thought they could turn reality, distort reality. And I said that in a previous video. So they just said, guess the movie. Again, you're not going to get someone who's a natural leader to do what you want. Okay? And that's part of the situation, that if someone's a natural leader and I'm doing my own thing, I wouldn't want these people to latch on to me anyway. But I'm also not going to take orders from them. And they said that's what they were trying to train me to be, which is part of the whole paper. I guess they came up with their little paper issue and holding my hand out issue, all of their issues. And I'm going to call it their issues. So they said, tell your, meaning the people who watch, only a few of you watch, that their feeling today is devastated. They said they're feeling. It's not that. I think their feeling today is they're they're really upset. Again, it's only those types of emotion: anger, upset, um, uh, rage. Just those strong emotions. Because I'm not reacting the way they planned it. They said they planned this, and that's my point. If you predict behavior, they should have predicted this. They said they thought I was going to be the type of person to demand the police come in here and do this and do that. And that was how they said they said they're going to bring the police down. But my point becomes, if they're planning things out, and this is how they operate, and they do it to me, they do it to other people too. So if you have people who create and have the technology to surveil people, create AI based on those surveillances, and hit people to get them anger and rage, they could really plan an attack. And that's they just made a big sound. That's my point. And that's part of why I got to tell you this stuff, because they can plan attacks. And that is the issue. Oh, they're making more noises and sounds. If they're planning, I'm going to cut this off before they can cut me off. Thank you for watching. I will do another video soon.